Blue jeans, magic mushrooms have in common. The dye used to make blue jeans is colored indigo. When you have a bruised magic mushroom, the color is indigo. What's crazy is the same color that's in the dye of blue jeans is the same pigment color of a bruised mushroom. Now let's talk about chakras. You have your third eye, pineal gland, and or the seat of the soul. The color of that chakra is indigo, which brings us back to genes. I mean, not those genes. We're talking about genetics. If you are melanated in America, 10 times out of 10, you have receptors for psychedelics within your genes. So if anybody ever asks you, now you know what
Pascal Beverly Randolph said that true God power is sex power. The most intense, most powerful experience that a human being could ever experience is an orgasm where the soul opens up and allows an individual to talk directly to God.
Why would a man that has a woman that's loving, caring, sweet, understanding, willing to respect him, learn from him, be under his supervision, then turn around and leave that woman? He wouldn't. Why would a man...
Every time y'all start having them conversations about who gonna pay for what and your man gotta do all of the legwork, because baby, listen, around here, I'ma pay half the rent and I ain't gonna complain about it. I might even pay a little bit more depending on what your pocket's looking like for the month, because in this economy, I know, I get it, I know. I'm gonna take my man on dates. I'm gonna pay for a haircut. Babe, I'm about to get a pedicure. I'm gonna treat you the one this month because I know you had a long month just like I did. Or shoot, happy Father's Day, happy birthday, whatever. Like, I'm paying for stuff. So, you know, kudos to the girls that got it all taken care of for them. Kudos to the girls that's just like, you know, my man does it all. I don't lift a finger. I lift fingers. I work. With or without a man, I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna take care of my man the same way I want him to take care of me. I don't see nothing wrong with paying a little bill here and there. I don't see nothing wrong with our rent $1,400, you pay $700, I pay $700. And I mean, quite frankly, with me and my man, like, we done did the whole 60-40. He done did 60-70, I did 40 or 30. Like, you know, it's just whatever works is what's gonna work. And then the biggest part of it is whatever works for you is what works for you. But yeah, I'm gonna continue to mind my business when y'all talk about who gonna pay for what and what y'all not gonna do. We can buy it every.
This is a seed, and one day this seed is going to become a great big oak tree. But before it becomes an oak tree, it has to be nurtured, and you have to be patient as it grows to become a big oak tree. Just like your dreams, you have to be patient, and you can't dig up your dreams before they manifest into what they're becoming. So I send this message to anybody that wants to give up, don't. It's Money Monday, and I never heard a crackhead say, I ain't got no money, so I guess I'm not smoking crack. So today, don't let a crackhead out hustle you.
What's good, family? What's good? What's good? Put a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me okay. I got a new mic, so I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. So let me just get a quick little thumbs up if you can hear me.
All right. A little quick thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. Some of y'all probably like, don't turn the music down. Don't do that. Such a vibe on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. Just wanted to talk about a couple of things in reference to the previous video that I did on my IG. But yeah, before we get into that, whiterabbitsite.com. These are the weekend promo deals. We got $44 monthly microdose capsules when you enter this coupon code at checkout, micro, and of course 20% off all orders when you enter the coupon code Blue Magic. That is the wave we've been on, the Blue Magic wave, and I'm still on it. About to transition into solar plexus work, but really thinking about emotions, emotional triggers, internalizing, and learning how to be oneself, and being one with my voice, right? If I would have knew then what I know now, I would have made better decisions. So when a person generally speaks, especially me, is from that acquired wisdom. And when it comes to magic, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to life, it's rules and parameters. It is ways to go about this thing. And I'm all for that. I'm all for ethical spiritual practice. And for those that want to hear it, I'm all for ethical spiritual relationships for those that want to hear it. It's always interesting when people do listen and people do hear me, right? Because that's not the life that I live. I live more of a prophetic life. So if people have been following like my Facebook and stuff like that, I've always been interested in relationship dynamics. I've always discussed it way before podcasting and relationships became a trending topic. And I just continue to do that, make my own personal observations on life, regardless of what's going on in my personal life. And in reference to that, you know, everybody is here to do their own work. And in every relationship dynamic, in every subscriber, follower, listener, viewer, watcher, friendship, business, it's all required that you show up and do the best work possible, or you can get voted out, or you can grow something very beautiful. And so the life that I live, the life that I've always lived, has been a God first, soul first life. And that's always what I teach. I know that I'm responsible for my own work and my own work only. And having a YouTube channel never really changes that. My actual conversation, though, stems from creating the best possible outcome for the listener through trial and error from me. And the reality is that I know it's generally going to go in one ear and out the other, right? People rather hear rhetoric. And when you are administering medicine, most people don't want to deal with it. You know, nobody really wants to learn and get better, even if they think they do, right? So when you take, for instance, shrooms, right? Shrooms today for me is a positive, pleasant experience. But for the first few years that I took shrooms, it was extremely agitating, extremely anxiety ridden experience. And if it wasn't for like the morning after or 4 or 5 days after I took mushrooms, then I would have never took it. right? So I would take shrooms and I would have this anxious, negative experience, right? But then the day after, I would have a breakthrough. Things would start to happen, or I would start to look at things differently, or I would start to have the honest and genuine conversations that I really, really wanted to have or needed to have for my life, for my ability to connect with a higher power. Just so many different things that it helped me through post the experience. So when people say I don't want a bad trip, in that aspect, I just really don't have nothing for you, because I tend to think that the bad trips are the exorcisms of negative emotions. So if you are ridden with negative emotions, or you are suppressing negative emotions, it's kind of good to exercise these things as opposed to suppressing them and then acting like they're not there for whatever reason. So let me give it a second. All right, that should be a little better. That should be a little better. Then I do a little bit like this. That should be a little better. But anyways, it's really important to go through the exercising of demons and negative energy to just be at peace with yourself, and to wish and want and to manifest and to pull and to prod and to ask and to think and to drive yourself insane, and not being able to relax, when relaxation is the gateway to spiritual understanding. Most people never really get spiritual understanding because they don't want to have the hard conversation and they don't want to exercise the demons. However, there are people that don't really have as many demons, right? That can just naturally tap into the flow. But if you have certain levels of trauma, certain levels of ignorance, certain levels of no practice, no understanding, then it's like a placebo. Spirituality just becomes mere information and mere words, and no practice and no real breakthroughs and no real understanding. So today because in the last video I was talking about information that it really wasn't a lot of prerequisite to it. So today I want to give more of like a prequel. So I'm going to talk about 3 things: the mystic marriage, the endings and beginnings, the powers of S3Xual, and engaging the whole being, right? But I'm going to bookmark this page, and I'm going to actually show y'all what I'm talking about. It's just basically going to be a book study on the actual topic of the video. So if you clicked on the video, you've seen the title of the video, that's what we're going to be talking about, and that's what we're going to be reading. The reason that I like this book, or I actually love this book, is because it's channeled by Pascal Beverly Randolph. And the book that I'm actually talking about is The Magical Sexual Practices of Ancient Egypt, right? And we're just going to do a little prerequisite. And yeah, for some people, they don't want to get into the sex magic and they don't want to deal with this, and that's fine. This is a conversation for people that are interested in sex magic and either want to do it with their partner, or they want to do it by themselves and merge the masculine and feminine energy within themselves. So if y'all can hear me a little better, could you press 1 or give me a thumbs up in the chat? All right. Type shit.
All right, so we're going to get into the quote from Pascal Beverly Randolph, and then we're just going to read, and we're going to do some study and some understanding. So 3 sections of the book. Once again, the book is titled The Magical Sexual Practices of Ancient Egypt. If you want to get a copy of this book, just go to Everand. Let me see real quick. Let me see if I can get a referral link. Maybe I can make everybody some money if you don't have Everand. Because Everand is Scribd. If y'all remember Scribd, they got the name have changed to Everand. It is basically all the books, right? So I'm gonna put a link in the description, right? Get you an Everand account, get you a Scribd account, right? And then I'm gonna also put it in the video's description so y'all can read along, and then read along in your own time, right? Take notes, right? Y'all buy goddamn eighths of weed, right? Spend $50 on the eighth of weed of some damn. The weed don't even be that good, don't even be getting high. But you would spend $50 on it. Spend $10. Spend $10 on a subscription. Okay? Get thousands of books, right? For the algorithm, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. But for the algorithm, goddamn, type thousands of books for $9.99. When you spent $50 on the loud. Make it make sense. And this is a good ass book. Like every part of this book is good. So what I'm actually just doing is doing a prerequisite. And I'm going to read this book from time to time on the channel. But I'm going to really get into some solar plexus work because I feel like last night my sacral chakra was finally fully activated. I've been through the full gauntlet of emotional triggers, right? I've been through am I the only person that have been dealing with emotional triggers? One's in the chat if you've been dealing with emotional triggers and you've been handling them good or bad, right? We got to recognize our emotional triggers as good things as teachers. It's also energy that is being exercised from deep within our being. So let's start this party off right. Let's start this party off quickly. Not all invisible onlookers, spirits, right? If we read Judy Hall's book, the first page says just because you don't see or just because you don't believe in spirits does not mean that they're not all around you. Period, point blank. However, are to be counted along with seraphs and angels. People may laugh as much as they please at the idea of wicked, mean, obsessing, tantalizing, tempting beings, or at the old notions of alchemists and others of that ilk. My researches and experience tell a far different story. When it is asserted that there is no mysterious means whereby both good and ill can be wrought at any distance, that so-called spells, charms, and projects are mere notions having no firmer foundation than superstition or empty air alone. Then I flatly deny all such assertions and affirm that the conclusions arrived at are so reached by persons wholly ignorant of the invisible world about us and the inner powers of the human mind. So what is this saying? This is saying that until we get a deeper understandings of who we are as psychic beings and understanding the powers of the mind through certain rituals, through certain hormonal experiences, through certain projections, through working through certain things, people want gnosis and spiritual development without shadow work, without exercising the demons. And the issue is you're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of resources not doing shit and possibly feeling good, I guess. Maybe feeling good, but completely disassociated and completely psychotic at a certain level, completely disconnected from your soul. And then unaware that there is so many spirits around you and attached to you. Let's start with the mystic marriage. The intention of the alchemical process is to bring about a mystic marriage. A mystic marriage is a balancing of apparent dualities and the return to integrated, multidimensional consciousness or absolute oneness. In my journal last night, I put in my journal last night. I know y'all not gonna be able to see it, but take my word for it, I'm not lying. Oneness. And then I started to think about mental health. Mental health is you and your mind. That means that mental health is personal. And the hardest thing for me to write as I was journaling was that you can't make someone do anything. And that's the biggest barrier to mental health. It's rooted in change of something that cannot be changed. So that brings me back to oneness and the stillness and the peace that I felt in the midst of whatever was that. And that's really what it's about. To constantly come back to this place of oneness and absolute oneness. And sometimes people think that they can get there by doing good things or doing the right thing or doing the best thing. But most of the time, that within itself is running away from the shadow work, which is running away from the absolute oneness between you and the soul. So whatever you have to say, whatever you have to do, you should be free to do that in this world. However, you might be afraid because somebody might judge you for saying it. But because you're not able to say your absolute truth, you'll be disconnected from absolute oneness. I don't know how it works. I know that it does work. Until you piss people off, you got work to do. If every time you speak, people are happy, people are motivated, people are inspired, and they never question that they on some bullshit, or maybe I'm on some bullshit, then nobody has the investigative process of understanding who they are. And it's counterintuitive because it's so normal to feel good when somebody is talking. And that's literally what you're going for. You're not going for something that is going to challenge you unless you're trying to learn. Because that's what learning is. Learning is being challenged and then changing that behavior. I've never met a person that absolutely wanted to, not no grown person that wants to change their behavior
But that's the sad part when it comes to spirituality. It's masturbation. If it is only what you agree with and what you vibe with, and what you resonate with, you would completely miss the truth a lot of times. You would completely miss the instruction, because if it takes instruction to be an engineer, why is it comfortable then to find your soul? If it takes instruction to be a teacher, why is it just so simple to find your soul? I would think that finding and understanding the invisible world and connecting your mind to the soul would be hard work. And that's why it's a beautiful thing to be on YouTube and to create the study or the environment to study or the environment to talk shit. Because even in that, listen, this is like information. But when you get to the spiritual realms and the higher ups, it's a bunch of niggas talking shit. So you got to be able to even understand that level of understanding, because you go into higher realms and you don't understand irony and you don't have a sense of humor, and you'll miss out on the message that spirit is trying to convey. It's a lot of humor in the fact that your baby daddy is the way that he is and you the way that you is. But if you don't sense the humor that spirits have put down, you'll be looking at it like, woe is me. But to get to this place of absolute oneness comes a point of purging that woe is me energy. However, the mystic marriage is also a process that leads to harnessing the magic of creation. So, most of us have had children. Not even most of us, some of us have had children, right? In comparison to the amount of times that we had sex. So if you had a sex 1,000 times and had one baby, that just means that you haven't harnessed the magic of creation. It's willy-nilly, right? You either wanted no kids, or you wanted a certain type of kid, or you wanted twins, or you wanted a kid when you turned 25 but not when you was 15, right? We never actually harness the magic of creation. So we know we have the magic of creation because we're here, right? So we're having sex and we're creating, but we're not having sex magic and harnessing the magic of creation because nobody wants to have this conversation. Right? Nobody actually wants to have the intimate conversation because there's a lot of shadow work that hasn't been done. So I hope that y'all able to listen and understand the work that is necessary to even get to a place, because one doesn't lead to one in this aspect. Sex does not lead to sex magic. This is a study, this is a work, this is an application, this is a learning, this is a behavioral change in how you relate to the closest person to you. Or else you'll just be in this box of sex and talking about magic and talking about spirituality and learning about it, but it's right in front of you. Something at which the Egyptians excelled. Until now, that Heka, or manifestation magic, was closely guarded. Esoteric temple secret available only to those carefully initiated into its practices during long years of training. Niggas wanna watch a 10-minute video on YouTube and talk about sex magic. One's in the chat. Niggas want to watch a a TikTok video and then want to talk about sex magic. But if the Egyptians excel in it, the secret is in the practices during long years of training. What is the mystic marriage? One of the strongest soul bonds of all was created in the ancient temples and in the occult and esoteric orders between two soulmates or two twin flames. The mystic marriage was intended to last for eternity. A different, positive, and present life growth-enhancing form of the mystical marriage is the marriage of our own inner male and female energies integrated with the divine spark within us all. So once again, if you're not, it's the reason why you got to practice this, because it's an oxymoron. It's an oxymoron that must be resolved. I need to do this for me, and I need to be in a relationship with another human being, an intimate relationship with a human being. And I don't, in the space of me integrating my masculine and feminine energies, I must not interfere or interact or disrupt this other person's path enough so where we are crashing out. Meaning that if I am integrating my masculine and feminine energy and my partner is integrating her feminine and masculine energy, we cannot lose. If I'm integrating my masculine and feminine energy and my partner is smoking crack, we will lose. If my partner is integrating her masculine and feminine energy and I am smoking crack, I will lose. And input crack as an analogy for not integrating your masculine and feminine energy during long years of training. How do we know the mystic marriage occurred in ancient Egypt? Let's start with endings and beginnings. The Enchiridion, and that is a book that is supposed to be channeled by Pascal Beverly Randolph, as dictated, lacked an ending. So the question was raised, the exact purpose of sex magic, we're going to replace that with alchemy of night, which is just the alchemy of sex, which happens at the night. So what is the exact purpose of sex magic? In the novel, it is misconceived as being the creation of a physical, magical child into which the shade of ancient pharaoh could reincarnate. By the end of the novel, the main characters suspect that this may not be the ultimate purpose. In the first chapter of the story, it is stated that mere sensual gratification is not the aim of the eternal ones, but the ultimate goal is not explicitly defined. In this present book, the question is resolved through an entirely new codex that complete the process of magical sexual initiation and harness the primal sexual force to the magic of creation and healing. So, how are you going to resolve whatever it is that needs to be resolved? And if you are in a relationship, cool. But if you're by yourself, cool, because we are consciously, progressively, intently initiating, which means to start a magical ritual of sexual, spiritual energy All right, let's just clear the air, right? Say for instance, you're not on this train of thought, right? Say for instance, you say fuck sex magic, right? And that's your disposition, and I understand that. I understand that disposition. But what's going to happen? But what's going to happen at a certain time? You're going to be sexually, you're going to be horny one day, right? Fair to say, you're going to be horny one day. You're not horny today. One day, eventually, you're going to be like, damn, need some. What does that represent? What does that entail? That entails the lack of harnessing the primal sexual force. And the thing about the primal sexual force, that the society can give you a different amount of activities and things to do to just simply ignore the primal sexual force. And if you ignore it, you cannot harness it. There's no sense in doing a magical sexual initiation, and there's no process of magic of creation and or healing, because you got it all figured out. So check out my Osiris video. Just go to my YouTube channel, search bar, search for Osiris. We talk a lot about the power of Sekhem. Osiris, the power of the soul. Sekhem will be the individual who has raised their chakras from the root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. The problem with what I'm saying is many people think they can do it however they want to do it. So there is no ethics, there is no rules in spiritual development, and which don't make no sense, really, because we're dealing with the invisible plane. If we use the same rules on the invisible plane as we did on the material plane, what would we have created? You can just build a house however you want to build the house. You can build roads however you want to build roads. You can build buildings however you want to build buildings. Just put it anywhere. You can just do, it don't matter how you build a car. I'm building a car my way, right? I'm building a car with 5 tires, not 4 tires. You got as many chakras as you think you got. You can do however you want to do it. As long as you got friends, as long as you got money, everything is fine. Girl, yep, that's how you do it. Yep, it don't matter. It do not matter. You can do it however you want to do it. It wouldn't make sense in the material world, but since the spiritual world is invisible, it's normal and natural for it to make sense. However, if you practice raw dog spirituality, you have no grimoire, you have no journal, you have no mode of operations. You're just hoping and wishing for some shit to happen. You don't really know much about Kundalini or the power of Sekhem. The power of Sekhem is raised after the fires or flames of Mut and Men. The physical Mut is the earth or the dirt. Men is the penis, pretty much. The physical sexual force. But if you read Chakra Nova, what is that called? At the end of the book, it is the School of Sexual Science, which if she's getting channels from Pascal Beverly Randolph on Mutt and Men, and I was getting channels from Pascal Beverly Randolph on Mutt and Men, if you read Sexual Science, at the end of the book, see a section on men. You would then understand that Chakra Nova might be a channel from Pascal Beverly Randolph as well. Shameless. That's a shameless ass plug. The physical sexual force that is known as Kundalini in Eastern systems, a higher resonance, the power of Sekhmet, a Sekhem rather, is a subtle but extremely dynamic, psycho-spiritual, orgasmic energy that lies coiled at the base of the etheric spine, the sacrum, the sacred bone until aroused. When the power of Sekhem reaches the crown chakra, it then activates higher chakras linking to the subtle soul bodies to open transcendent knowing. The power irradiates the cells of the physical and subtle bodies with a new, lighter resonance, one that literally enlightens. It awakens the light body and the ability to assimilate higher dimensional frequencies on Earth. Think about that it all starts from orgasmic energy. The ability to assimilate higher dimensional frequencies on Earth is the power of Sekhem, which is subtle, extremely dynamic, psycho-spiritual, orgasmic energy. And if you cannot get there yet, and if you're not there yet, and you don't know how to get there yet, this is why we bring about exorcisms. This is why we bring about cleansings. This is why we talk about purity. Because in the art of lovemaking or being around someone is a natural ability of psycho-spiritual orgasmic energy. Kyrie, I'm not there yet. I don't think I'll ever be there. What did we just say? Harnessing the magic of creation, Egyptians excelled at it, but this was available only to those carefully initiated into its practices during long years of training. So if you want it, you're willing to put in the years of raising the chakras and understanding the chakras. Because even to this point, even till this moment, I'm still understanding my root and sacral chakras, which we have been working through Chakra Nova. And so we're going to put the presentation together and we're going to present the solar plexus presentation, but I couldn't talk about it until I did my sacral chakra work. Because you're never done doing this for whatever reason. Because you're talking about mental health. Mental health is me and my mind. If I'm trying to facilitate and balance relationships with thousands of people, and that is the driving force for me and my life and my well-being because I'm making money, well, then that's going to drive me crazy. So I got to take care of me, and then in the result of taking care of me, whatever is on the back end is on the back end, because we're dealing with some real energy. And real energy is psycho-spiritual energy. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know exactly what it's not. It's not a bunch of people liking you. I'll tell you that. It might not be nobody liking you. It might be you liking yourself. One's in the chat. Psycho-spiritual orgasmic energy might be you falling in love with yourself. One's in the chat. What if the mystic marriage is the unification of the masculine and feminine sides of yourself, which is representing you falling deeply in love with yourself? But imagine you having a halfway decent looking motherfucker in your life talking about he want me to fall in love with him, or she want me to fall in love with her, or she expected me to do this, or he expected me to do that. And if that's your reality, This level of psycho-spiritual orgasmic energy is a mere pipe dream. Expanded beyond the conventional 7 chakras, the power of S3Xual unites the soul bodies and the highest aspects of oneself or a couple in a sacred marriage. It then opens the way to harness the magic of creation. What she not telling you is that she got a nigga in the back giving her some dick and they doing sex magic. You thinking, oh, she got it popping, she got it going on. No, she has been initiated into ancient mystery schools of sex magic. And then they still in your energy. That's the game. What's the number one thing that people have been talking about on the news since 2020? Besides the disease. They've been talking about Jeffrey Epstein. What is the case of Jeffrey Epstein in Ghislaine Maxwell Center around? Yeah. We're not even going to say it, but the magical sexual practices of modern America. Right? And these are secret societies that deal with certain levels of initiation. But these systems are completely perverted. But this is what's happening. This is how these people are able to assert dominance and to know and to have and to create and to live on a different level than people who are not partaking in these particular things. But it doesn't exclude you. It actually includes you, and it should actually motivate you into understanding it and creating your own secret society within oneself, within a couple, in a sacred marriage. So there is no way to stop it, and there's no way to limit it. It just depends on how you are going to look at it, depending on the level of your relationships. But whatever you do, whenever you do it, the years of training, it will open up the way to harness the magic of creation. True teaching is not an accumulation of knowledge. True teaching is an awakening of consciousness which goes through successive stages. So when you deal with it from the root chakra, when you deal with it from the root to the sacral, when you deal with it from the root to the sacral, to the solar, when you deal with it from the root to the sacral, to the solar, to the heart, and you encompass all of the learning through the successive stages, then you can gain gnosis through doing your chakra work. That is learning of the self, and then learning how to balance and deal with the triggers and the traumas of the past, so you don't live in the past and you can be present. You can unify with the higher aspects of yourself in real time and not placebo your way through it or function your way through it or drug your way through it, but really be here. Really do the knowledge and really have the breakthroughs. It is now time to begin the alchemical working. Sex magic requires setting aside the ego and actually doing the practice, immersing yourself in it wholeheartedly and being in harmony with each other when working with a partner. It is nothing less than total participation of mind, body, spirit, and soul. Surrendering to and being swept up in the process. This is not an intellectual exercise to be undertaken by the mind alone. Body and soul are equally involved. The mind has to be willing to be able to transcend everyday consensual reality and move into the wider reaches of metaphysical and spiritual awareness. So, engaging the willing suspension of disbelief. This is so big. This is so big. Like, when you watch a movie and they go on a car chase scene and the car goes on the rail and drives on the rail and does a 180 turn and flips over the water, and the car magically drives over the water and drives back onto shore, and the cops are following him the whole time, and he jumps out the car and hops on a crane, and the crane takes him to the top floor, and he's swinging on the crane and falls down the shaft and lands in laundry and keeps on running. You following it like, man, that movie was good. How you feel about your wife? Man, fuck that bitch, man. She cheated on me in 1994. The willing suspension of belief. See, this is the game. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about something real. All she has to say, right, is I love you. Right? All she has to say is, oh, you a sexy motherfucker. See how easy that is? One, if it's easy to say, oh, you a sexy ass motherfucker. One's in the chat that's an easy statement to make. Oh, you sexy. You was fine as hell, boy. Right? I'm a man. I said that easy. Your girl can say that easy. Oh, damn, ma, you got it going on. Damn, you looking good today. Damn, the way you rocking that goddamn bonnet. Bonnet and leggings is my favorite combination. Yeah. The willing suspension of disbelief. You gotta go into this thing like we about to do this shit. We about to do some sex magic. You on the same page? You on the same page I'm on? A good pickup line in 2024. Y'all want to hear a good pickup line in 2024? Y'all want to hear a good pickup line in 2024? Y'all be walking down the street, see a girl you like, see a guy you like, just look at them and be like, okay, I see you on the same way. Okay. And then they go naturally ask what you mean. And in that time, you just scan something about them that you agree with. Either they got on a jacket that you like or a hairstyle that you like. But you match that energy. But you don't think nothing of it. You don't take it too far. You like, nice to meet you. My name is blah, blah, blah. Have a good day. You know what I'm saying? You establish a connection. If you keep doing it, it'll bridge off into different games. But that's a good icebreaker. Okay, we on the same wave, and just smile and just nod. What you mean we on the same wave? Yeah. Then you just figure it out. Then you got to start freestyling. So engaging in the willing suspension of just disbelief, join me in experiencing the magical practices of an ancient land to invoke a spiritual and sexual conjugation of the soul and ultimately harness the forces of creation. Your hand in my hand, my soul inspired, my heart in bliss, because we go together. See, that's some old school shit. We go together now, real bad. So I think, yeah, that is all that I wanted to talk about. Because yesterday I talked about chapter 1, and the next time I get up on here, I'm gonna just figure out where I left off. I was somewhere in chapter 1 where I left off. Repetition is key. So yeah, whatever you do, stick to it, stick with it. As of now, just understanding sex magic and really developing a love for myself, I guess, is key to like balancing your chakras. Because in this life, you might want people to love you and treat you right and do what you want them to do, and they don't do it, and you internalize it, and it fucks up your spiritual path and your spiritual development and your spiritual growth. And some people just don't give a fuck. You know, I give, you know, a hat tip to people who just live and don't care and just do it their way and don't give a fuck, you know? That's absolutely the way to do it, because you got to be able to follow your soul at the end of the day. And when you make a mistake, the Earth's still going to spin at a 23.5 degree tilt. And when you do the right thing, the Earth's still going to spin at a 23.5 degree tilt. So with that being said, hopefully you guys have a good day. Enjoy your day. Before I get out of here, visit whiterabbitsite.com. We got a weekend sale. The sale ends on Monday night. $44 microdose capsules. Use the coupon code micro. Save 20% off your whole entire order when you use the coupon code Blue Magic. Just want to appreciate and, you know, thank you guys for the support. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe, and be sure to God damn it. Put the link in the description. Highlight the links in the chat. Get you an Everand subscription. I think it will be like 30 days free or something like that. Tap into this book and many other books, right? And with that said, man, y'all have a wonderful day. I'll be back with another video. And until then, oh yeah, one more thing. Join the Discord. The link is in the description. Join the conversation. Let us know what you got going on. And then from there, I would say add to the conversation. Let us know what's on your mind at all times. Content that you want to see. Content that you want to do. If you are a new creator or a veteran creator and want to post your videos in the Discord to boost your views or just build your platform, whatever it takes, join the Discord. We're getting it popping, having a conversation, and the link is in the description. So yeah, with all that being said, y'all have a wonderful day and evening, morning, wherever you see this video, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.